This is the last word, and I'm Maria Shakil. A day after her handbag featuring the word Palestine sparked a controversy in Parliament, Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra appeared to double down, arriving with a new bag carrying a slogan on the plight of minorities in Bangladesh. Stand with Bangladeshi Hindus and Christians. The quote on her bag read in reference to the incidents of attacks on minorities in Bangladesh following the ouster of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina earlier this year. Priyanka Gandhi's bag move inspired other opposition MPs to carry similar bags and protest. In her address during the 0 hour in the Lok Sabha on Monday, Priyanka Gandhi called upon the government to raise the issue of atrocities against minorities in Bangladesh. This intervention, remember, comes on the heels of another stormy episode in Parliament with regards to Priyanka Gandhi's choice of accessories becoming now a point of political debate. Her handbag from the previous day was about Palestine, inscribed or it was alongside a watermelon, a widely recognized symbol of solidarity with the Palestinian cause, which had triggered sharp reactions from the ruling BJP. When questioned about the controversy over her Palestine bag, Priyanka Gandhi dismissed the BJP's criticism, and I quote her, "Who is going to decide what clothes I wear now? Who is going to decide that?" Unquote. Let's listen in to what Priyanka Gandhi said and then the political storm around this bag controversy.
फिलिस्तीन के बैग के मामले को लेकर बीजेपी सवाल खड़े कर रही है, अपीसमेंट की बात कर रही है, क्या कहेंगे आप आपके ऊपर?
उनको कहिए कि जो बांग्लादेश में जो अत्याचार हो रहा है माइनॉरिटीज़ पे, जो बांग्लादेश के हिंदू हैं, बांग्लादेश के ईसाई हैं, उसके बारे में कुछ करें, बात करें बांग्लादेश की सरकार के साथ, अत्याचार बंद कराएं।
कल कांग्रेस के एक नेत्री संसद में फिलिस्तीन का बैग लेकर घूम रही थी और हम यूपी के नौजवानों को इजराइल भेज रहे हैं। वहां पर यूपी के अब तक लगभग 5,600 से अधिक नौजवान इजराइल गए हैं निर्माण कार्य करने के लिए, और हर नौजवान रहने का फ्री, खाने का फ्री और 1.5 लाख रुपए उसको वहां पे अतिरिक्त मिल रहे हैं और पूरी सुरक्षा की गारंटी भी है।
Our stand is very clear. We are always supporting Palestine, so that's why this is her decision. Nobody can question what bag is where, what dress is where. That is in the individual decision. Why BJP is criticizing everything?
Rashid Kidwai is a senior journalist. He's joining me now. Dr. Chaudhary is a foreign affairs expert. We also have Daniel Francis, who is a political brand expert, and Tuhin Sinha of the BJP will be joining me shortly. Daniel, beginning with you, as someone who manages images of politicians, is it a great move or a needless controversy by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra? Because this is a debut in the Lok Sabha. Why would she want this kind of attention on her?
She's new to the Lok Sabha, she's new to the House, and she's using new modes of communication and trying to make controversies and impact. Interesting. I don't know whether she's trying to carry the baggage of the past, but yesterday was a disaster in which she was carrying a Palestinian symbol, and today she made an interesting point by carrying the Bangladeshi bag and try to speak on what's happening in Bangladesh. But beyond these gimmicks and the kind of communication techniques that politicians resort to, both these issues are very important political issues. In fact, Bangladesh opens the Pandora's box for the government, and Palestine opens the Pandora box for the Congress party. So, instead of doing something like this, which is symbolic and gimmicky, I hope that she goes beyond what her brother does and try to establish herself as a more serious politician and uses the forum of the parliament more effectively to her advantage.
Okay.
In today's times, politicians are also tempted to use the gimmicks and stunts and social media the way they want to use, and They just like to be trending and they like to be photoed. That's all right, but you cannot build a political career on it. You cannot
Okay.
build a political career on it.
All right. So, Tuhin, this entire thing about her bag, is the BJP interested too much in her bag? And her response seems to be valid. I mean, why should you decide her choice of, the bag or the clothes? Who's going to decide that? And she goes on to say that that's typical patriarchy, that you decide what women wear.
Good evening, Maria. Good evening, everybody. It's not about her bag. It's about her attitude. What she was indulging in yesterday was, communal virtue signaling. And what she indulged in today was a desperate act of monkey balancing due to the pressure that was put on her yesterday. Now, the fact is, when, Congress party talks about Palestine, they are actually showing their covert support for the Hamas. And I will tell you why. 20 days after the ferocious terror attack on Israel, where 1,300 people were killed, Khalid Mashal, an ex-Hamas chief, had held a video conference with people in Malappuram. Did any of the Congress leaders condemn that? So we suspect that their support for Palestine is actually a covert support for Hamas, which is what is problematic. And today I'm challenging Priyanka Gandhi, since she spotted that, she flaunted that bag where she's talking about Hindu rights in Bangladesh. Let her apologize for the Congress party's opposition to CAA and let her declare that the Congress party supports the CAA. Let this duplicity of the Congress party end over here. We have a problem with her duplicity, the duplicity of the Congress party, not with the bag or not with the dress that she sports.
Okay. So this is like really taking it very far, Rashid Kidwai. This is not about accessory anymore. This is about the big bag statement.
I think Maria, Priyanka Gandhi is a very deft politician. She may be a backbencher, but there is a method in what she is doing. So she drew like a game of chess where you sacrifice a pawn and you draw your opponents into some kind of offensive move, and then you have a counterpoint, and that is what. So I think the BJP will be better off in not reacting immediately, because she is not Rahul Gandhi temperamentally. She is very different. And she's a backbencher, and she's not going to upstage Rahul Gandhi. So there are going to be all these things that which come in the field of imagery and sort of symbolism, symbolic gestures and all, and to drive home a point. Mr. Tuhin Sinha may go on saying that Palestine is not a communal issue; it's a geographical, geopolitical issue, and government of India, even the current government, has many a time voted in favor of the cause of Palestine. Palestine issue is not about Hamas or Hezbollah or anything that Mr. Tuhin Sinha is trying to project. But that apart, I think, Maria, you have covered, the Congress and national politics since 2014, when the big change happened, and everything that was done creatively belonged to Mr. Narendra Modi and the BJP. Now here comes a person who's trying to. I'm not saying she has set a cat among pigeons, but someone who's scoring and who's doing well and who's drawing attention. You remember, Maria, a very famous thing. Mr. Narendra Modi had said in one of those election campaigns, Congress buri ho gayi hai, and she came up and she said, "Kya main aapko buri lagti hu?" So this is a kind of spontaneity that is going to bother BJP, not now, but until UP elections and beyond.
Okay, so there is a great degree of spontaneity in it. Tuhin, a quick response, and then I bring in Dr. Chaudhary.
No, I just want to clarify. I didn't expect Rashid bhai to misinterpret what I said. As far as India's stand on Palestine is concerned, we continue with the previous stand. We support the just Palestine cause. But the present-day Congress is not supporting the Palestine. It is supporting the Hamas today, post 7th October 2023. If you support the just Palestine cause without uttering a word on terror, that is a covert support for Hamas, which is what we are opposing.
Okay. But today's bag, Dr. Chaudhary, many would say that it is only reminding the government of the day that she is standing, and an important leader in the opposition space is standing with the minorities in Bangladesh, something that even the government has been communicating to the interim government of Muhammad Yunus.
Thank you so much. The first thing that I want to say is that All of this razzmatazz around a bag is unnecessary. Second, the terminology of woke hails from the historic background of black activism in 1920s and 30s and black civil rights movement. The meaning of woke itself is to be aware against any injustice. Now, it can be injustice against Palestinians, Israeli hostages, or Bangladeshi Hindus, Christians, all of it is coming under the terminology of woke. Priyanka Gandhi carrying the bag, she met the charge d'affaires of the Palestinian embassy, Abu Zaghar, one day before. He is not a member of Hamas. Secondly, we as a government follow a multi-vector foreign policy, dehyphenated foreign policy when it comes to Israel and Palestine. We have a very long-standing history of Palestine. We have an 800-year-old Sufi mosque in West Bank, Jerusalem, which is giving shelter to UNRWA and the Palestinian refugees. We have 85,000 Indian Jews in Israel. Carrying a bag by politicians can be seen as a form of symbolism, but it has to be also accompanied by advocacy on the ground. And at that same time, be it Mahatma Gandhi, be it Nelson Mandela, be it Barack Obama, be it Jacinda Ardern, all of them have used this kind of symbolism with their attires and whatever kind of woke or non-woke dialogue we believe in. At the same time, if she is talking about Bangladeshi Hindus and the Christians and other minorities, that also is a message that has to be taken very seriously in the Lok Sabha. What is interesting is that, she wore the bag, she came to Lok Sabha, she went away. But we are continuing to discuss about it, which means that it had an impact, and that is what was wanted out of it.
Yes. So many would say it's a great communication strategy, Daniel. She has got all the eyeballs and she has got the communication going.
It is a great communication strategy. I wouldn't disagree with that fact, but I'm just saying that we can get trapped. She can get trapped in these gimmicks that normally are associated with politicians to make news. On a substantial note, if they want to really corner the government on its foreign policy, the foreign policy of the government on Israel and Hamas, Israel and Palestine is very balanced. BJP trying to move it to Hamas is a tactical move. But if they want to corner this, they should call for a discussion on India's foreign policy in the parliament. See, this kind of getting pictures, getting discussed, a lot of these things are we see it in Bollywood movies and brands and things like that. But necessarily, these are not successful moves for a long-term impact on the politics of the country. If you see serious politicians in the country, we can say that, we're discussing this.
No, but how is this really non-serious?
No,
I mean, if she has decided to wear a bag, something on herself, which has a powerful messaging on it, then how is it really non-serious?
As a political brand consultant, 100 on 100 on carrying a message on take two. On another note, I also would like to argue there are serious politicians in the country. There were serious politicians in the country who did not indulge in playing to the gallery and yet made an impact on India's foreign policy, domestic policy. People have to choose.
Okay, but Tuhin, I mean, is the BJP now overreacting? I mean, calling the entire move as communal, saying that it is playing to the gallery. She may be playing to the gallery, but there is this method in the messaging. First, she got all the eyeballs, and then you have... one moment. You have the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister talk about it on the floor of the UP Assembly. So certainly, it has had the impact that Priyanka wanted.
Well, like Rashid Bhai mentioned, she is maybe slightly, marginally better than Rahul Gandhi, who has been a complete failure in any form of communication. So yes, I mean, the fact that we are discussing her, maybe, that goes to her credit. But like I said, I'm assuming that she has been newly awakened on the condition, on the plight of Hindus in Bangladesh. So let her follow this up. Let her follow this gimmick up with some introspection. Let her follow this gimmick up by accepting that they erred on the CAA, that their stand was wrong, and let them support CAA. because this kind of a farcical gimmick doesn't have any meaning. Tomorrow she might, just because people have raised a hue and cry, tomorrow she might support another cause. But this only shows that she does not believe in any cause herself, but would do what people expect her to do.
Rashid, will you respond to that? I mean, her critics are obviously going to hit back with what they say is walking the talk. If she is indeed concerned about the minorities, which are Hindu minorities in Bangladesh, then it is also about backing the legislation which the government of the day is trying to bring.
See, I think, Maria, you must understand Priyanka Gandhi is not a leader of opposition. She's not holding any, as of now, any formal position in the Congress organization. So therefore, she is simply a backbencher, a first-timer. She has very little. She's not even member of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs, etc. So I think she has a scope to get away. This is kind of that statement that she's trying to bring, and pitching herself as someone who's who would keep BJP guessing, and that is why I think the BJP is a little bit surprised and little bit edgy, I may say, that because they do not know what she's going to do tomorrow, what she's going to do day after. Her bag thing is very different from that Mahua Moitra's bag that created a kind of controversy because of its brand and price, etc. Here there is a very a kind of certain political messaging is there, and that is what we as sort of journalists and commentator were looking for, and that's why everybody is talking about, because in politics, in as I said, post 2014, it was just one way. It was Mr. Modi who was getting away, or who was setting the agenda. Now here is someone who's actually trying to do something. I see my friend Daniel, while he says as a communication expert, he gives her 100% marks. So I think we should take that as a face value when he says the second part, that that is of course his political association with the various players in Maharashtra. That is I would say prompting him to not to give 100% marks otherwise.
No. One second, Mario, can I butt in?
Yes, please go ahead.
I just have to make one submission on the marketing 100% mark, but I am saying, as a serious politician, as a 99-member party, as an opposition that is now stronger than what it was 10 years ago, what the point I'm making is that instead of carrying bags, do you have the courage, do you have the strength, do you have the strategy to bring the government to a discussion on what's happening in Bangladesh, what's happening to minorities in Bangladesh? That's called real impact. Yeah.
No, but the question is
Rahul Gandhi to do.
Yes, go ahead. But she's not the leader of opposition here.
Rahul Gandhi to do. He's a LOP.
Priyanka Gandhi doesn't have impact on the politics of parliamentary politics of Congress party. Then who will have?
It is not. I am saying Mr. Rahul Gandhi holds the formal position of leader of opposition. It is he who can force a discussion, not Priyanka Gandhi as the first time MP or as a backbencher.
What his sister is going to...
But she is forcing a discussion right now.
He doesn't go to see what his sister is going to speak for the first time. He doesn't applaud her. Please don't tell me that these are two things. You are speaking like a Congress spokesperson. That's not my problem, Mr. Kidwai.
No, I am making a distinction between a first-time MP and a five-time MP.
Marketing, 100% as a brand strategy, 100%. Real impact, zero. Get a discussion on Bangladesh.
You may say that. I have no problem with you saying that. I am saying that you are giving her a lot of this thing. What she wanted to do
Daniel,
to
the question is, as one of the many MPs in Parliament, how can she really decide the direction of the foreign policy?
She is not one of the many MPs. She is the granddaughter of Indira Gandhi.
Okay, so that is the way it has to be seen. Dr. Chaudhary, fine enough. I mean, let's not forget that there is history attached to the Congress here. And Priyanka Gandhi, the reason why she opened the discussion on the all-important subject of constitution was also because of a position of eminence within the Congress or opposition space.
Because that is desperately needed as of now. At the same time, I want to say that the discussion, any kind of impact is not immediate. Instant gratification of political impacts doesn't happen. It's an organic, slow process. Communication takes various degrees of forms and intensity. At the same time, this is not only happening in India. For example, on December 7th, Pope Francis at the nativity scene in Vatican, where Jesus Christ was wrapped in the kafaya that you can see, which was organized by two Palestinian artists themselves, created a massive uproar, and that had to be taken down.
Very good example.
Even in spite of the lineage, which is that Jesus Christ came from the Jewish lineage, started Christianity, was born in Bethlehem, which comes in the West Bank Palestinian territory. It has the mixture. He is the synthesis of Jewish Palestinian culture. And in spite of that, it created a massive furor. My point is, Priyanka Gandhi, her body, her choice. Why do we have to give so much of power to that kind of diplomatic or subtle negotiation or communication she's trying to do? Let her do. It's her choice. It's her right. At the same time, it doesn't mean that any kind of impact or any kind of foreign policy discourse will happen immediately. Look at the ethnic cleansing going on. More than 50,000 dead, 100 Israeli hostages still not back. So is it happening? It's more than 14 months. Has it happened in the international community? No. So how can one person, Priyanka Gandhi, be the solution or just be the spokesperson? Is her body her choice? Yes.
Well,
I have a strategic question to ask. If Priyanka Gandhi...
One moment, Daniel. Let Tuhin finish. Yes.
Maria, from the approach of Congress and the Congress ecosystem, what I can gather is that, Priyanka Gandhi, like other members of the Gandhi family, will continue to enjoy power without responsibility. So while without holding any position, she can be asked to open, the debate on the all-important constitutional debate. When it comes to any of her actions going wrong, she will be absolved of her responsibility and people will gather around saying that, she's nobody. So this is the kind of duplicity which we are fighting against, and duplicity is the hallmark of the contemporary Gandhis.
Okay, I've just 30 seconds now for you, Rashid. Rashid, day before it was Palestine bag, now it is Bangladesh bag. What do you think is waiting for the BJP tomorrow? I mean, which bag is she going to carry tomorrow? Any guess on that?
Yeah, I think, Maria, that is the most interesting part, because you keep guessing. If you become predictable, like many people think Rahul Gandhi has become very predictable in what he's going to say next. I think Priyanka Gandhi has brought a sense of novelty, particularly at a time when Congress has performed miserably in Haryana as well as in Maharashtra. So the congressmen themselves, it is acting like a small dose of some kind of tonic. Keep them going. Otherwise, if Priyanka flavor was not there in this this winter session of Parliament, I think the Congress would have been far more demoralized.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Rashid Kidwai, Dr. Chaudhary, Tuhin Sinha, and Daniel Francis, on what is the new intrigue around Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's bags. With that, it's a wrap from me on this edition of The Last Word. I'll be seeing you tomorrow, but we have Vishnu Shom right here in the studio.
Well, we've got a packed program coming up after the break. One nation, one election, both sides of the debate. That's coming up with the leading experts in the country, some of whom were actually part of the COVID committee, which framed the recommendations for ONOE or ONOP. We're going to take a short break. More coming up.